In this webinar, we will describe how to use peptides as promising therapeutic agents against negative strand RNA viruses. Extant antiviral drugs are mostly targeted against viral polymerases or viral proteases. Some anti-influenza drugs are targeted against an enzyme, neuraminidase. We feel there is a growing need to broaden the target space, including protein-protein interactions and protein-RNA interactions in the viral life cycles. Contrary to beliefs in certain quarters, peptides can be developed into effective drugs, and already the market size of peptide drugs are quite large. Many peptide drugs are in the market supporting the approach of using peptides. Apart from this, the peptides can be a lead molecule showing the validation of the target and can be replaced by a small molecule with appropriate structure-based design or by high throughput screenings. We have chosen Chandipura virus as a target to prove our strategy. Chandipura virus is a pathogenic virus which causes a disease in children, and we have seen some limited disease outbreaks in India. Its life cycle is similar to that of VSV, vesicular stomatitis virus. It has an important transcription replication switch, and a number of viral proteins are involved in this transcription replication switch. These proteins interact with RNA and between themselves, that is protein-protein, creating protein-protein interaction and protein-RNA interaction. This slide shows two important proteins, P, the phosphoprotein, and N, the nucleocapsid protein, that is involved in regulating the transcription replication switch of Chandipura virus. These protein-RNA interactions are targets for these studies, and I will now hand over the microphone to Dr. Prosenjit Chakraborty, who will describe the actual study.
Hello everyone. Thank you, sir, for this insightful introduction. I have always been fascinated by how these negative sense RNA viruses employ different mechanisms to replicate inside a cell and what could be done to stop them. In the case of Chandipura virus, the unphosphorylated P protein called P0 forms two different complexes with the leader RNA, known as complex 1 and complex 2. This differential interaction is governed by the amount of P protein that is binding to the RNA. At low concentration, P0 binds to the stem loop portion of the Chandipura virus leader RNA at its 3' end, known as CHPLE2, at a stoichiometry of 1:1 to form complex 1. At higher concentration, two molecules of P0 bind to the linear unstructured region of the leader RNA at its 5' end, known as CHPLE1, at a ratio of 2:1 to form complex 2. This decision-making event and the stabilization of the RNA secondary structural element by P0 is very important for the virus life cycle. We postulated that inhibition of the complex 1 formation can be detrimental for Chandipura virus. Our goal was to map the region of the P protein that is binding to CHPLE2 and design a peptide from it which can specifically interact with CHPLE2 and competitively inhibit the formation of complex 1 inside an infected cell. In order to ascertain the importance of P protein and leader RNA interaction, A siRNA knockdown rescue experiment was performed on the virus itself inside an infected cell. P-gene targeted siRNA, herein referred to as P2, was used to knock down the viral pmRNA in infected cells. PS2, a scrambled version of P2 siRNA, was used as negative control. To rescue the P protein knockdown, a siRNA immune construct of the P gene, PSI wild type or PSIWT, was generated by introducing 7 silent point mutations in the siRNA target sequence. Another similar siRNA immune P gene construct was generated, but with 3 important RNA binding residues mutated to alanine called PSI-AAA. The immunoblots with anti-P antibody on the left side of the slide shows the P2 siRNA mediated silencing of wild-type P protein or PWT, as well as the resistance of PSIWT and PSI-AAA to silencing. It can be seen that both siRNA-resistant wild-type P protein and siRNA-resistant triple mutant P protein are expressed at equivalent levels in the presence of P2 siRNA. PS2 siRNA did not have any effect on the expression of the P protein. For the rescue experiment, Vero76 cells were first transfected with plasmids expressing the wild-type siRNA-resistant P protein or the mutant siRNA-resistant P protein or an empty vector. 24 hours post-transfection, the cells were infected with Chandipura virus at an MOI of 0.1, followed by siRNA transfection after 1 hour. 24 hours post-infection, the cells supernatant were collected and assayed for viral titer by plaque assay. The logic behind the experiment was that CHPV knockdown with P2 siRNA could be rescued with the extraneous expression of P protein from the siRNA-resistant constructs. Rescue with wild-type siRNA-resistant P protein and not with the mutant siRNA-resistant P protein would imply the importance of these 3 mutated amino acid residues as well as the importance of P protein and leader RNA interaction. 4 sets of experiments were performed simultaneously. In set 1, Vero76 cells were first transfected with an empty vector and then infected with CHPV, followed by treatment with scrambled siRNA PS2. In set 2, Vero cells were transfected with an empty vector and infected with CHPV but treated with P2 siRNA. In set 3, cells were transfected with the siRNA-resistant wild-type P protein and then infected with CHPV, followed by treatment with P2, whereas in set 4, cells were transfected with the mutant siRNA-resistant P protein instead of the wild-type one. As observed from the graph shown on the right side of the slide, there has been a significant reduction in viral titer in set 2 compared to set 1 control. This confirms the reduction in CHPV titer by P2 siRNA. Rescue of this knockdown by the siRNA-resistant wild-type P protein is observed in set 3, where the viral titer has increased significantly as compared to set 2. However, the difference in titer between set 2 and 4 is non-significant. Taken together, this data indicates that introduction of the siRNA-resistant wild-type P protein and not the mutant protein could rescue P2 siRNA knockdown of the Chandipura virus. The 3 mutated amino acid residues, asparagine, leucine, and isoleucine, at position 217, 218, and 219 respectively of the full-length phosphoprotein, are crucial for binding the leader RNA and important for functioning of P protein in infected cells. Thus, we can safely conclude that P protein leader RNA interaction is essential for propagation of Chandipura virus. This is the full map of the P protein. It consists of 3 domains as shown in the figure. The central domain contains the 2 tryptophan residues that aid in fluorescence studies of the protein, and this domain is also involved in oligomerization of the P protein. The N-terminal domain is involved in binding the N protein. We wanted to confirm whether this highly acidic domain has any role to play as far as binding CHP-LE2 is concerned. So, a deletion mutant of P protein was constructed where the entire N-terminal domain is deleted named P74 to 293. CD spectra comparison between the wild-type P protein and N-terminal deletion mutant shows that the deletion does not have any major influence on the overall percentage of secondary structure components of the P protein. This ensures that even if the binding site lies elsewhere, the deletion should not have an impact on it. Then, a fluorescence quenching experiment was performed with the deletion mutant, where the fluorescent intensity of the tryptophan residues in P protein was monitored in presence of increasing concentration of CHP-LE2 RNA. As can be seen from the graph below, there is a gradual quenching of the fluorescence intensity as the RNA concentration is increased. When fitted to a single site binding equation, the Kd value comes out to be 41 plus minus 19 nanomolar. This value is similar to the one observed with the wild type protein in earlier studies. Thus, we can safely conclude that the N-terminal domain of phosphoprotein is dispensable as far as binding CHP-LE2 is concerned. In order to map the RNA binding region, we then concentrated on the C-terminal domain. Homology modeling of the residues 201 to 257 of the Chandipura virus P protein was performed using the NMR structure of vesicular stomatitis virus or VSV P protein C-terminal domain as a template. The C-terminal domain of Chandipura virus P protein shows appreciable similarity with that of VSV and other vesicular viruses and is known to be indispensable for binding nRNA templates. The model structure shows that the residues of the C-terminal domain form several small alpha helices and an antiparallel beta sheet connected by flexible loop. Beta sheet loop structures have often been found to be binding sites for cognate macromolecules in the past. We tested the possibility of the beta sheet loop structure encompassing residues 208 to 243 of the full-length phosphoprotein to be involved in the leader RNA binding. The leader RNA binding ability of this 36 residue peptide was tested by fluorescence anisotropy. For this purpose, the N-terminal end of the peptide was labeled with fluorescein. The labeled peptide was then titrated with increasing concentration of CHP-LE2 and anisotropy values were measured. Anisotropy of the fluorescinated PEP 208 to 243 open circles in the graph shown in figure A was found to increase as a function of CHP-LE2 concentration and was largely saturated at or above 4 micromolar of the RNA. The binding isotherm was fitted to a single site binding equation to estimate the value of the dissociation constant, which comes out to be around 1.43 micromolar. After confirming the binding of CHP-LE2 RNA with PEP 208 to 243, we attempted to identify the residues on the peptide that are crucial in interaction with the RNA by chemical shift perturbation NMR. Total correlation spectroscopy or TOXI spectra shown in figure B in the slide of the peptide in absence or presence of CHP-LE2 RNA, where the peptide to RNA ratio is maintained at 1:10, were overlaid to identify the RNA interacting residues. Residues that undergo chemical shift changes upon complex formation were tentatively assigned by through bond connectivity. Asparagine at position 217, leucine at 218 and isoleucine at position 219 are the residues whose chemical shifts in the region of the spectra have been most significantly perturbed compared to other residues in the peptide. We can remember that these are the residues which were mutated for the siRNA knockdown rescue experiment explained earlier. Figure C here represents an enlarged portion of the overlaid spectra showing distinct chemical shift perturbation tentatively assigned to leucine at position 218 and isoleucine at position 219, while the bottom panel shows another part of the overlaid spectra assigned to phenylalanine at position 228 and alanine at position 232, where no chemical shift perturbation was observed. A triple mutant version of the peptide, where all the three residues, asparagine, leucine, and isoleucine, have been mutated to alanine, was synthesized and purified. Label version of this mutant peptide was used in anisotropy assay, similar to the wild-type one. You can see the solid circles in the graph shown in figure A. It is quite clear that CHP-LE2 RNA failed to cause any increase in anisotropy value of the labeled mutant peptide, indicating loss of leader RNA binding ability in vitro. The effect of the triple mutation were compared in the full-length phosphoprotein as well as the peptide. Figure A and B shows the CD spectra of the proteins and peptides respectively, where the white dots represent the wild-type protein and the peptide, and the black dots represent the mutant protein and the peptide. As can be seen from this graph, as well as the table shown below, the secondary structure of the full-length protein is not disturbed significantly, but there is a huge change in case of the peptide. It suggests that the alanine substitutions at position 217 to 219 are only affecting a local region of the protein and are not dramatically altering the global protein structure. This data clearly support the contention that PEP 208 to 243 is indeed an integral part of the RNA binding domain. This experiment here reiterated the importance of the three identified amino acid residues in P protein for interacting with leader RNA. A triple alanine mutant of the P protein was created by site-directed mutagenesis. The mutant was subjected to electrophoretic mobility shift assay or EMSA using radioactive phosphorus labeled full-length leader RNA as probe. It is clear from the gel shown in figure A that while the wild-type P protein forms both complex 1 and 2 at two different concentrations of the protein, len 2 and 3 respectively, the mutant protein does not form any of these complexes in the concentration rates tested in the assay, len 4 and 5. To further substantiate our claim that the triple alanine mutant peptide is deficient in leader RNA binding, we devised a chase experiment in which the labeled leader RNA was first allowed to form complex with wild-type P protein in binding buffer in the presence of yeast tRNA for 15 minutes. 300 nanomolar P protein was used in the assay to facilitate the formation of complex 1 only. This complex was then chased with 10, 100 and 1000-fold molar excess of wild-type and mutant peptides. It is evident from the radiograph shown in figure B that only the wild-type peptide could efficiently chase out labeled Chandipura virus leader RNA. These observations clearly indicate that residues 217 to 219 of the P protein are involved in leader RNA binding in vitro. Next, the importance of P protein was shown in mini-genome systems mimicking the Chandipura virus life cycle by siRNA knockdown rescue. Figure A shows the effect on the mini-genome expressing green fluorescent protein, while figure B shows the same effect on a CHPV mini-genome expressing luciferase. Similar to the knockdown rescue experiment described earlier, the P protein in the mini-genome systems were knocked down with P2 siRNA. A scrambled form PS2 was used as control. The mini-genome systems consist of the reporter gene flanked by the leader-trailer regions of CHPV and the three non-structural proteins N, P, and L. We can see that P2 siRNA can knock down the expression of the reporter genes, but the scrambled siRNA does not have any significant effect. The siRNA-resistant wild-type P protein can rescue the expression, establishing its importance for the virus. The importance of P protein leader RNA interaction in viral growth suggests that this could be a potential drug target. To evaluate this, we conjugated 6 D-arginine residues to the N-terminus of the peptide for facilitating cell entry. To confirm cell permeability of this hexa-arginine tag peptide, we labeled it with fluorescein and found that the tag peptide was indeed permeable to the cell membrane, and after 3 hours of incubation, it was almost homogeneously distributed within the cell as shown in the figure on the top left-hand corner. Assessment of the cytotoxicity of the tag peptide by MTT assay revealed no significant cellular toxicity as shown in the bar graph on the top right-hand side. In order to further address that the peptide may exhibit non-specific pleiotropic effect on normal cellular processes, a tritiated thymidine incorporation assay was performed. The radiolabeled thymidine is incorporated into dividing cells, and the level of this incorporation measured using a liquid scintillation counter is proportional to the amount of cell proliferation. Monolayers of Vero cells were treated with 0.2 microcurie of tritiated thymidine 20 hours post-peptide treatment at different concentration. The graph below here shows that the D-arginine tag peptide has no effect whatsoever on growth of Vero cells even when incubated at 50 micromolar up to 96 hours. In order to assess the potential of the hexa-arginine tag peptide from phosphoprotein to reduce viral yield, cells were treated with varying amounts of peptide for 1 hour, following which they were infected with CHPV at MOI of 0.1. Titer and thus the yield of the released viral particles from 3 independent experiments were quantified by viral plaque assay. The results show that only the wild-type 36-mer peptide from the phosphoprotein reduced viral yield in a dose-dependent manner, circles on the top graph. The mutant peptide has very little effect, if any, squares on the same graph. To ascertain whether the peptide DR6 PEP208-243 interferes with the viral RNA replication, a time-dependent real-time RT-PCR assay was performed. The results in the bar graph below show that the wild-type peptide inhibits viral RNA replication by 78% at 8 hours post-infection, but not at 4 hours post-infection as compared to untreated control. On the other hand, the mutant peptide fails to do so. It has been shown earlier that viral RNA replication is initiated at the late phase of the viral life cycle, that is 6 to 8 hours. Thus, PEP208-243 selectively interferes with the viral RNA replication machinery, whereas mutation of residues 217 to 219 abrogated this potential. Similar to the phosphoprotein, the nucleocapsid protein also interacts with the positive sense leader RNA and plays a vital role in the life cycle of negative strand RNA viruses. Based on prior knowledge and homology modeling, we have tried to design a peptide capable of selectively interfering with the binding of N protein to leader RNA. The C-terminal domain of the nucleocapsid protein is absolutely essential for recognition of the leader RNA. RNA binder predicted 2 major RNA binding regions within the C-terminal domain, amino acid residues 351 to 374 and 404 to 422. An arginine residue at position 408 within the C-terminal domain that is highly conserved has been found to be very important for maintaining hydrogen bond contacts with the RNA. Shows a Clustral W alignment of the vesicular stomatitis virus VSV and Chandipura virus CHPV nucleocapsid proteins. Using VSV N protein as template, the structure of the nucleocapsid protein from Chandipura virus was derived by homology modeling. The genomic RNA binds in the central cavity between the two domains. Among the regions predicted by RNA binder, 351 to 374 segment is an unstructured loop projecting outward, making this an unlikely candidate for the leader RNA binding. The 391 to 422 segment, encompassing the residues 404 to 422 predicted by RNA binder, is a helix-turn helix motif. A peptide was thus synthesized comprising the C-terminal 32 amino acid residues named NC32, that is the violet-colored portion on the figure shown at the top. The mass and purity of the peptide was checked by mass spectroscopy. As shown in earlier slides, leader RNA of Chandipura virus contains two distinct halves, a stem loop half called CHPLE2 and an unstructured half called CHPLE1. The N protein is predicted to interact with CHPLE1. NC32 interaction with CHPLE1 was analyzed by circular dichroism and fluorescence spectroscopy. In order to confirm the specificity of the interaction, two mutant varieties of NC32 were designed and synthesized. One of the mutant peptides is a scrambled form of NC32 referred to as NC32S. Another mutant peptide named NC32M, which contains a mutation of the arginine residue to alanine at position 408, R408A, of the full-length nucleocapsid protein. Among other residues in the C-terminal domain, R408 forms a critical contact with the RNA genome of VSV as mentioned in the previous slide. Near UV CD spectra of 5 micromolar CHPLE1 was recorded in the absence and presence of an equimolar concentration of NC32, NC32S, and NC32M. There is an approximately 1.5-fold increase in CD signal of CHPLE1 in the near UV region upon the addition of NC32, indicating that the peptide interacts with the leader RNA. That is the blue line on the graph shown in the inset. The enhancement of the CD signal at this wavelength is likely due to some changes in base stacking in the peptide RNA complex. No significant change in the CD signal was observed upon the addition of NC32S or NC32M, the green and the red line, when compared to the black line of the RNA alone, confirming the specific interaction of NC32 with CHPLE1. Fluorescence intensity of 5,6-carboxyfluorescein labeled NC32 decreased on titrating with increasing concentration of CHPLE1 and was mostly saturated at or above 600 nanomolar. The binding isotherm gives a Kd value of 133 nanomolar. The observed quenching of the labeled peptide by CHPLE1 confirms the 5' half of CHPV leader RNA is binding to the C-terminal end of the viral nucleocapsid protein, specifically in a concentration-dependent manner. In order to test the antiviral effect of NC32, 6 D-arginine residues were attached to its amino terminal end as a cell-penetrating tag. Hexer D-arginine tagged NC32 called DR NC32 was labeled with 5,6-carboxyfluorescein for assessing the intracellular permeability of the peptide. Labeled DR NC32 called FL DR NC32 was added to monolayers of CB1 cells and incubated for 3 hours. PBS was used as a control for this study. Cells were then visualized under an Andor spinning disk light cell confocal microscope. After 3 hours of incubation, DR NC32 was almost homogeneously distributed within the cellular milieu. On the right hand side is a JET-stack 3D representation. Cytotoxicity of DR NC32 was measured by MTT assay. The peptide showed no significant cellular toxicity in concentrations up to 20 micromolar at 24 hours. To assess the potential of DRNC32 for inhibiting CHPV growth, cells were infected at MY of 0.1. At 1 hour post-infection, CHPV-infected cells were treated with varying amounts of the peptide or with PBS. Titer and thus the yield of the released viral particles in the cell culture supernatant was quantified by plaque assay. The graph above shows that DRNC32 decreases viral titer in a dose-dependent manner with an IC50 value of 3.4 plus minus 0.7 micromolar. Interaction of N protein with the leader RNA has been shown to play a role in the initiation of encapsulation that is essential for the genomic RNA replication process. To evaluate whether DRNC32 interferes with the CHPV genome replication, we set up a mini-genome assay based on plasmids under the control of T7 promoter in CV1 cells infected by recombinant vaccinia virus expressing bacteriophage TS7 polymerase as described in an earlier slide. Cells expressing the mini-genome was treated with peptide or PBS control, and the luciferase expression was measured. The data in the graph below indicate inhibition of luciferase expression with an IC50 value of 5 plus minus 0.7 micromolar, similar to the one obtained above. So, to conclude, a peptide has been synthesized from the C-terminal domain of Chandipura virus phosphoprotein that specifically impedes the viral replication by interfering with the positive sense leader RNA and phosphoprotein complex formation. Using a unique siRNA knockdown ratio experiment, the importance of three amino acid residues asparagine, leucine, and isoleucine at position 217 to 219 of Chandipura virus phosphoprotein in the viral life cycle has been proved. A peptide has also been synthesized from the nucleocapsid protein of the virus, which binds the leader RNA specifically at nanomolar range Kd. This peptide has shown strong antiviral potential on the mini-genome system as well as live viruses. The widespread occurrence of leader RNA and its interaction with N and P proteins in negative sense RNA viruses indicate that use of these peptides or more developed derivatives may be an effective antiviral strategy against mononegavirus. Presently, the world is going through a pandemic caused by an RNA virus, and this will certainly not be the end of it, as more pandemics are expected in future. RNA viruses are dangerous because of their high mutation rates, allowing them to better adapt and bypass our immune system and antivirals. So, we need to be better prepared against this group of pathogens. Validation of these interactions and a more detailed study of the various mechanisms involved provides a new avenue for developing small molecule inhibitors. Thank you for your kind attention.